I guess we shouldn't delay and get right into the stuff pretty
Sweet.
soon here, but to preface this for anyone else, so you are probably low gold player for the most part in game, correct?
Yep, that's what I'd say. Like last week, I fell down to silver, but yesterday I climbed back up to gold.
So, if people don't really know what the ranks correlate to in game, a gold player is nowadays it's someone who's usually almost always playing on level 10. And typically what I see is a lot of them have a good grasp on offense, and maybe defense is the one thing that's kind of lacking at the beginning, so you'll see a lot of quicker matches for the most part. Before we hop into this, I mean, what do you think your strengths as a player are immediately, and what do you think is like things that you recognize immediately you need to work on the most?
Yeah, like you said, my offense it's been good recently, good enough to top people out quickly, and um, otherwise I've been able to survive better, I guess more consistently. I don't feel as panicked when I'm topped out, and it's been fun to last 1 minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes in some good matches on level 10. We might have had a couple of those here. I can't remember. I haven't rewatched this set at all, but um, yeah, I'm hoping that we're able to learn some good things. Let me check out the screen share that you got.
Yeah, for sure. It's just going to be the replay that you had. So this is a pretty cool matchup actually here. We're going to be seeing our level 10 versus level 10 matchup that we pointed out. And Fudu is going to be going against Kitti, which both of you guys have been really active Discord members for a while now. And both notably have each won a novice tournament title, which is really cool. So I really didn't get to watch a lot of this as I was recording it. I put it on, stitched it together and put it on YouTube, so it'll be easier to pause it and follow along with it. But yeah, is there anything that we should know before we hop into this, Fudu?
Not much. Just that both of us are relatively new to level 10, and yeah, I'm hoping to get over some common bad habits that people new to level 10 get into. So yeah, we can get into it.
Sure, sure. I need to like I would love to do some more stuff like this in the future. I'm not gonna have any kind of special software to highlight stuff, but I did leave my mouse up, so I'll try to like point to things when I see them, and we'll pause and maybe view frame by frame for certain things here. But I think for the most part, we're just gonna be watching the set and let it play out. I'm not sure how loud this is going to be, but yeah, let's hop into this. This is a first to 20 with Fudu being on the left side and Kitti being on the right. Feel free to yell at me as well if you want me to stop or look at a certain part again or explain what's been going through your head. We're gonna be mostly looking at Fudu's side, but we'll take a look at Kitty's side as well every once in a while here. But yeah, let's jump right into it.
Sounds good.
Vastly different playstyles here at the beginning, I've been noticing. Do you usually like to start with a smaller stack when you've been playing recent matches? Or like how often do you
Yeah,
usually
I
raise at
hardly
the
ever
beginning?
raise. In the beginning, I hardly ever raise. I have been able to, um, well, if not top them up with the initial attack, get a quick follow up with a combo or two, and then that's been good enough so far.
Kind of
I'm
like,
not able to hear the sound on my end as well. Could you turn that up?
oh, I'm not sure how much it'll be for you because
Oh,
I
okay.
it's just game audio anyways. If you want to just put on
Actually,
background
yeah, that's fine.
noise, I
It
would
doesn't
just put
matter
on a
actually.
playlist. Funny
Okay.
enough, because I disabled this in-game music and I just have a playlist going on the background here.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Sounds
what's
good.
up, Christine? Um, Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
the reason I
I don't
mentioned
raise a
that,
lot in the beginning. Yeah.
it's like, well, we can see right here how dangerous it is for raising the stack, as Kitty took this really quick death with kind of pillars on both sides here. Could drop one with the red here and gets to the yellow, but the pressure can be really intense since you were sitting small chains and had some combo follow-ups here. Uh, I've noticed that a lot from the golden plat level is playing with like a mid to maybe like 3/4 stack is kind of a sweet spot, so it gives you just a little bit of time, and so that you don't get caught off by those like 2-3 chains, a couple small combo storms that get sent. But
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I might raise once or twice if I need a color that's coming up on that bottom row. So we'll see. I think I do raise more than I think. We'll see what happens in the other games.
yeah, it's hard to tell with just this 12-second first game, so we'll go ahead and hop into some more here. Also, what's up, Tay? Yeah, we got the nerd session going on right now. And nice to see that you woke up super early, Christine. You get to tune in for, as Tay said, a really nerdy session, which you probably don't understand most of. But I mean, already a different approach here at the beginning. But let's see.
Yeah, I was not able to get anything going on my opener.
Doing a pretty good job finding the clears, even though you're scrambling at the beginning, but you didn't like. There was some panic there, but you were definitely finding a bunch of clears to give yourself time, and that's another strategy that is helping a lot of people get further into their defense and surviving a lot more. It's just making sure you always have a clear, and eventually making your way back up to the garbage to get the clear. Kitty, unfortunately, just these pillars right now, it looks like Kitty's just been dropping a lot of clears here and getting into these awful situations. It's really tough to know what to do in these double pillar situations. It's something that I struggle with a lot, and a lot of Diamond and Master players will too. And there's no straightforward answer to it, but trying to like alternate your clears to like, I will purposely set up, if I have time while clearing garbage, for instance, if I have like a 3 vertical that's in the middle of the screen, I'll purposely take the time to move it all the way to the left or the right, because just having those pillars on the outside is kind of just the worst thing to deal with. And so far you haven't been struggling with that, which is cool to see, but it's always just a good thing to note that these pillars in almost every aspect of this game are like death. You don't like to see this.
Yeah, the best thing to do is just to avoid them entirely. So, yeah.
So yeah, two quick games for you here. Very good start here from the beginning. Now, are you the type of player, when you're starting a chain at the beginning, do you take the time to analyze your board quite a bit? Or are you kind of just finding a clear immediately and improvising and trying to get as much done as you can?
I would look maybe 2 moves ahead, sometimes 3. One thing I've been trying to avoid the most is getting matches burned on the bottom from just the stack naturally raising and such. So I do try to look ahead, but not as much as I should.
Oh, that was a sick grounded catch there at the bottom. But unfortunate. It was just one of those situations where down stacking, just not enough time there. But I really did like how, I mean, this whole string to get to this moment, you had to clear here, a little bit of a miss swap down here. So you're always having these options. Something gets broken up there again, but you're still clearing. And yeah, this is that rough spot where trying to just downstack these panic moments, because you had a little bit of separated pillars too, and it's really easy to just get locked in and say, I got all this space here in the middle that I can try to downstack to. Let's try to bring it all down. And even with the shake, it's not too much. You do have these dark blues here at the middle, so I think doing what you're doing here is fine, but then once you get to this moment and knowing that the yellow might be too far away, a good thing here Just like give up that space. It might make it a little bit more sketchy and might not matter in the end. But if you take a look at your rest of your board, these dark blues at the bottom here give you enough time to react. Maybe drop the purples in the spot right afterward, and maybe even the reds if you have enough time. And you have a whole group of yellows here at the right that can probably bail you out here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because, yeah, thanks.
It's like it's so hard because in those situations there's so much that goes through your mind here, and you got to physically tell yourself not to get tunnel vision. And I think that's just a big thing that all of us, it's really hard to fight, is like your mind is set on one plan here, doing this down stack, and it's so much work to get it done. But
Yeah, I don't know what I was looking at, but it wasn't the blues. So, or maybe it wasn't even to get a match at all at that point. It was just to fill that space, kind of like you said.
I really did love that grounded catch that I remember you mentioning to me. Like, was it after the set that we played against each other, you'd like to like go for those a little bit more?
Yeah. Yeah, I like frame tricks.
They're fun. They're so fun to do. Yeah, there I noticed it again, which is honestly a pretty cool way to play at the beginning. I mean, obviously your opener is so crucial for you trying to get a lot of pressure going on your opponent at first, but you taking your time and trying to just get an even bigger chain here at the beginning is a really cool way to approach that.
Hey, yeah.
Already, big chain aggression here at the beginning. Especially your ranking, I don't stress a lot to people. Like, it's good to practice very strict factoring with just 3 chains over and over. It's good to practice combo storm. But, I mean, even for me as a player, I'm just, like, trying to top off my opponent. And I really like that from your end. For majority of the matches that you've won here already at the beginning, it's been really good aggression here.
Okay, yeah, thanks. One thing I've noticed when playing other people was that if I went big, then I would lose because I'm instantly topped off. So if I kind of cut my opening chain, just focus on finding a clear, then it would just prevent some early deaths.
Oh my, Kitti having trouble again with that. You're doing a good job buying yourself time, not topped off there. Starting chains in the middle can just be a little bit dangerous sometime if they do get cut early, because that's just how you get the separated pillars that happen all the time here. All right, trying to down stack. All right, let's see what could have been avoided here. Immediately, first thing I can point out here, as soon as you start clearing the garbage here, you get your setup, which you're doing. You had enough time, plenty of times. As soon as you get your dark blue here, because it looks like you're pretty much good. You set up your yellows too. Maybe like when you have a low stack like this, even when your opponent's not topped off, it might be a good thing to save these yellows here because you might want to push more garbage here because you know your opponent's not topped off. But at the same time, this gives you more options down the line here. And specifically here, if you save this yellow, you're going to have these the 2 reds up here that are lined up, and then you'll have another set of yellows here too, which just makes things a little bit easier. But I think the thing that's more important here, get your main line up here, and you notice here, this is something really huge that I've been doing a lot more with my gameplay. On the top of a big chain garbage block, if you have 3 or more lines here, it's almost crucial to be trying to pay attention to what's going to be clearing up here, because you have a really good chance at a vertical 3. In which case, I don't think the vertical 3 happened, but you did have this horizontal 3 right here. And this horizontal 3, you can go ahead and move either to the left or the right, 1 swap away. And then there's your bailout option if something does happen, because second tier is so huge for trying to find yourself out of a bind. And again, it's something like level 10 is so quick, it's really easy to be focused in on something here, and it's very hard to like open your mind up to like so many possibilities happening on the board here. But then, yeah, you had to scramble for this purple because you didn't have too much shake here. And you could have went for the reds too, but honestly, that would have been a lot of movement. And probably for even someone like me, I don't think I would have gotten there in time. Yeah, the big thing I could have pointed out here. The reds, second tier is your best friend, for sure.
Got it. That's good. One thing I don't look... Ooh. One thing I don't look at is my opponent's board, or even the top of my stack, to notice that there is going to be a second tier. So that's a good tip.
Yeah, I like even on Kitty's side there too, especially since you did a big chain here at the beginning and all that garbage up here. I even get to the point sometimes like I'm sure maybe we'll see the situation here in the future, but we'll look at like Kitty's side for a second. Let's say there's this big chain block here at the bottom, and then we'll look at this 7 combo and 4 combo only, and that's 2 lines up here. Sometimes I'll even delay my clear for a long time and just wait for that third line no matter what it is. It could even be a chain block because it guarantees 3 lines are going to be cleared up there, and it gives you so many more options here. Let's see if Kitty is able to notice this too. Get the purples or the dark blues lined up. Plenty of stuff up here, but locked in here at the bottom. She manages, or he, sorry, excuse me, manages to get the clear. But look at that. If maybe focused more a little bit on the top here and had some more options, that 4 combo would have came in. But yeah, second tier is definitely something I think probably not a lot of golds or even lower platinums utilized to their fullest. And I like to see people focus a little bit more on that because it's just so many more panels, especially if you decide to just like keep playing at the middle tier here and forget the bottom, for instance. Let's just say there was a clear lined up here at the top. You can just like play this field for a while too until you run out of clears up there and be like, all right, go to the bottom now to bail me out. Because when you do focus on the bottom here too, it does become a little bit awkward the way things fall, because you could see a clear that is lined up. But since you have like a gap in the second column here, there's going to be a complete gap in this middle or the fourth column right here. Maybe things don't fall the way that you think they're going to. And I think that's what really messed up Kitty there at the end.
Yeah, all of a sudden you have to pay attention to the top of your screen and you don't know what's up there.
But yeah, so far, the strategy you're going for works pretty well at this level. Also, I think I like AFK during that part of the recording. But quick combo aggression seems very effective at this level, and it can be pretty good to catch your opponent off guard.
Yep, that's what I see a lot in the beginning of the match, are just combos.
This was pretty good patience here. Assuming that was intentional, that you were waiting for the rest of the garbage to fall there.
Yeah, I do that. I think you get more stop time even if your stack is topped out, completely topped out.
The pillars, you recognize you had plenty of time to downstack here, no threat. Can take your time to set up something lovely. Oh, miss swap on Kitty's in. Not much to say about that game. I mean, it was just some mishaps from Kitty. You did a good job getting those consecutive chains back and forth.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, you're doing some downstacking. Maybe a miss swap there, trying to do the yellow at the bottom. I'm not too sure, but I think it's just the combos coming in just caught you off guard a little bit there.
Yeah, also, whatever I had planned for the opener completely fell apart.
My music just got super loud all of a sudden. Apologies for that. But, I mean, yeah, that's like this happened a little bit. It's just like trying to see. You had the dark blues lined up there a little bit. I think it was just kind of some panic here trying to figure out what to do. When I guess the dark blues lined up here, you should probably just downstack those reds really quick, get rid of that purple at the top too, and just prepare to clear Kitty's garbage. That's really the only way to approach this. Oh, okay. You're going for the slide there. I see. If you hit that slide, then then you're moving the yellows across. Okay, I understand what you're going for still. As someone who also risks their lives on doing things like that, and this was a friendly match, so it probably didn't matter too much anyways. Pretty stupid strat overall, even though I do it all the time still. But when you miss it and you
Yeah.
instantly die, it kind of hurts.
Yeah. It's like, why am I like this?
But I feel that. I totally associate with it, so no sweat there. Alright. Scary spot. Got rid of all your inactive matches, but once again recognizing you're not topped off, so you can play a little bit more aggressive, so you're sending some garbage here at the beginning.
Oh shoot. Okay.
I mean, green's in a little bit of a panic there at the end. So you got the double. Here's something too, because this is something I more recently am trying to break more of a habit out of. Even if you think, because this is going to help improve your defense, even if it extends out the match a little bit longer and might put more pressure on you. You have 9 total panels that are clearing down here, which puts you in a really bad spot because you only have one more row of garbage that's going to be clearing here, and there's going to be more stuff that's falling on top here, unless you're like really confident with doing some Shogun falling right here, which you really could with these with these 2 reds that are falling in place. But then you have to recognize that you have to drag like a green or a blue panel to fall here too, because these got to be even stacks, which in that case it could work, but that's a really hard solve that I would be surprised even master players reacting to and finding immediately there.
Yeah.
So honestly,
Yeah,
what I would
immediately.
recommend here though is it hurts to do this because I always like, juicy 6 combo right in the middle of the board, but you could still do the lag chain here. Maybe do the left dark blues and the middle light blues. But you know what? Move this bottom dark blue right there just over to the right one. And now you got an immediate clear that's going to fall into place here. You have a nice group of reds here that are at the top too. And you can easily downstack this middle red to make another vertical 3. But it kind of just leads to a bunch of unfortunate stuff because I don't think you meant for this 6 combo to happen here, and it just fell out of nowhere, and it kind of just threw you for all the loop here at the bottom because you know that an attack's eventually coming. You're trying to find a clear here, do some down stacking, and get rid of those reds here at the bottom too. And that's just an unfortunate thing there. I think you knew what to do, but it's just an unfortunate color confliction there. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah. Yep, that's a good point about not being greedy though.
Oh yeah, the greed is, oh man, so much like either extending out a chain too big when you need to start gathering more panels in your screen, or going for a big combo which you didn't have enough time to and you end up dying before you can make the clear. Two really bad habits that it can be really hard to break because I still do them from time to time too. But they can definitely help you out, especially in the defensive department. You may see, like, you'll get to a point, because I've had several matches recently, even in tournaments, that for like 2 minutes, I feel like I did not have them topped off, but I was just playing my game, playing slow, and when I finally found that opening, felt comfortable, like I cleared all the garbage and had like literally a full screen of panels, I just busted out a big chain, kept surviving for another minute, and eventually get the victory. So I think the big problem is, for your level, I don't think defense is as important right now, so it's really not something you should be taking too big of a priority on. But once you start pushing to that low platinum ranking, get to like that diamond ranking, defense becomes a lot more important.
Definitely.
Good chain here. Almost got that extension too with the greens. But yeah, this is very good to start here at the beginning. I'm always a proponent of doing a big chain no matter what level here at the beginning. It gives your opponent, you know, a lot of time to react with the shake, but it slows them down so much. You see all that clear time Kitti had to deal with, and all of a sudden he's already looking for a bunch of clears here at the bottom, has to do some down stacking, and you followed up beautifully with that combo storm here at the bottom too. And good save on those light blues. I think you probably knew the proper way to down stack here, but let's see. Can I frame by frame? There we go. Once you get to this point, because you can hook this light blue up in a chain if you really want to. Go ahead and move that red to the left first. Move that gray to the right or to the left next. And then this becomes a little bit less awkward of a down stack because you had this chain happen here and you saw your blues were down here and you're like, oh crap, I got to get that gray block down next.
Yeah, okay.
A bunch of like little small optimizations that I feel like the more you play, those feel a little bit better because that becomes a lot less scarier because now you do this. If there's like a 4 combo that falls, which look at what's up top there. You had enough time to react and get to that clear, but sometimes you might not get as lucky. And so in that case, I do like making sure that's even first. Get that red and gray down first before you do that. Because that could have been super scary spot, but you're doing pretty well with it.
That's a good point. Yeah, thanks.
Kitti might be dead. Oh, couldn't react to those yellows in time.
There's no shake time. Yeah.
That's a tough spot when you're trying to have that spot here. When you get down to 2 rows and there is a chance here. I mean, I'm sure you know this, but you can see them. You can see them peeking up there, so you can move both your yellows to the left and do a quick raise to try to bail yourself out. But man, this spot, even if Kitti got to this clear, you're sending more pressure here, and there's only 1 line clearing at the bottom here. That's gonna be really tough to live.
Yep, definitely.
All right. So we're up 6-4 right now, doing pretty good. Because I would say, do you know what was your rank and Kitty's rank ballpark going into this?
Let's see, I'd say. Okay, mine was 1425. Yeah, like right around low gold. And then Kitti was 1350.
This was, I'm going to give you a compliment and a criticism at the same time here. You are doing really well with buffering a lot of clears to stay alive because you noticed your immediate danger. And you're finding clears. There's a clear. There's a clear. There's a clear. Buy yourself some time. Not topped off and got to the yellows, which could have been scary if you were topped off. But here's going to be my criticism again. 3 lines, 2nd tier. You got some purples.
Oh, shoot.
But
I
it could have
known you were going to say that, but
yeah. That's fine because it's tough. Like I said, I think it's something this level struggles with a lot, but you know how many panels you could have saved down here and made your life so much easier by just making this clear, and you would have had a field full of panels.
Sheesh, yeah.
But your ability to improvise and finding clears is looking like way above your level right now.
That's one thing that I've noticed I've done more of. I guess I've avoided that for better or worse because I don't like that panic feeling and such, but it is necessary and it's not always bad.
If you have the confidence to go to those slides, man, you know, go for it. And look at that, converted to a 9 chain here. Scary, but you had the awareness that nothing was sent. I will always approve if you know what your opponent sent to you and you know you can go that far, there's no problem at all in doing that. And I'm pretty sure you recognize that Kitti was a little bit low on sending you garbage, if I'm correct there, yeah?
Yeah, I probably heard that not a lot was made, so.
Beautiful.
Yep.
I'm curious what happened on Kitty's in there. Oh yeah, it's like, it's tough to find those, but that's a little bit of the greed kind of happening there too, or maybe some panic. with Kitti doing those purples and then ruin the perfect gap. I would have just probably, if this situation ever happens to you, because this is a really rough one actually, because he went for downstack the 2 blues, try to bring the dark blue over and get the clear.
Mhm.
I think what you want to do here, this is a really, really tough one. I think you just want to drop this green, make this light blue clear, and probably try to chain these dark blues somehow and do some kind of downstacking afterward. Maybe try to get these 3 dark blues on the right here to line up vertically, because it's going to give you a lot of space in the middle after you attempt to do a chain like that. Probably
Yeah.
burn the greens here too. This one's tough though. This middle gap one is also a pretty big killer here, but I think more often than not, try your luck with doing the clear first, trying to maybe get a chain on top of that, build up your stop time a little bit rather than doing down stacking, because your stop time is going to go out a lot quicker than you think it is, which was the case there for Kitti.
Exactly. Oh wait, could you go back?
Yeah,
Were those
sure.
purples that were cleared? Um,
Which side are we
before
looking at?
on Kitty's side. Maybe go back. Yeah. Okay, those were
Yes.
purples.
All right, hold on. Let's go back. So
So I
yeah,
think he could have made a 9 out of the dark blues and the purples.
you could have. Yeah, I think that would
Oh,
have been a pretty difficult swap too, because
yeah.
this,
Now that I see it from here, that is pretty difficult to see.
I think you
Huh.
definitely could have shifted that right dark blue over and then did a purple, or just the dark blues in general over here. It's kind of just like the purples were in your immediate vision, so that's where that clear initially came from here at the beginning, which I don't blame Kitti for going for that. This one's a tough one because there's so much over the board, and there's actually a lot of clears you
Yeah.
can make, but they're all kind of like a little bit far away from each other, except for these purples in the middle, and that's what Kitti gravitates towards.
Mm.
Because you got
Yeah.
you
That's
got
what we've
dark blues
noticed.
that can go to the right, to the left here. Well, you know what? Honestly, those are your only 3 options. The greens can't make an immediate match here either. The reds and the yellows are way too far away. So this is a tough board here. I'll cut Kitti some
Yeah.
slack.
Yeah, and you're not able to do a lot until those purples finish popping. So that just puts you in a tough spot.
Let's see, Lunar and chat. Maybe the green into the blue and clear the down stack to the right. Here, I think you were meaning from, because I kind of missed this position here too. Okay, are you saying for these like greens right here, make a horizontal 3? Because that's a really good idea too, because you can do a pretty big chain from that too. This is the cool thing about panel, because there's so many different visions from a whole bunch of players. I'll rewatch a play I did 5 different times, and I have a different idea what to do almost every single time.
Wow, yeah, panel is really neat like that.
Yo, Jarvis, thanks for the raid, man. I hope you had a good stream, dude. What were you playing? Welcome everyone. We're doing some panel review with my friend Fudu here. It's a little bit nerdy if you don't know what this game is, but we have a match 3 game that's going on. We're looking at some competitive sets, and we're seeing how we can improve down the road here. Thanks,
Hey, Al.
Jarvis. Thanks. All right, well, let's move on here. 7-5. So this has been a really close set so far. Fudu is the player who is playing on your left here, and Kitti is the challenger. Both very similar elo in game here too. Oh, well, I will say some for Kitti, already something I'm going to be pointing out here if you do see this VOD later. Your pillars have been putting you in so much trouble already in the set. There's just been so many early deaths, and I mean, you kind of have one going here too, Fudu.
Mm-hmm.
And just something to preemptively for any kind of player on this elo when something happens like this. Start making verticals in that column that seems to be in danger. Kitti has these purples that can be at the bottom here too. It might be a little bit hard to react at this point. And I think Kitti did see the purples at the very last second there. But go ahead and like take the initiative to move your clear over there and try to get that down, or downstack it. Downstacking can get pretty scary though, depending on what your opponent sent. Because if they sent a combo storm to you while you're trying to downstack, it's very unfortunate for you.
Yep, definitely.
And yeah, for you, I mean, you're not in too much of a position because it's all context on what your opponent sent to you too. If it's a big chain, you're gonna have a lot of time to react with the shake that gets sent to you. So I think this is fine here. It looks like you're probably going to 2-chain it here and have the greens. But always keep that in the back of your mind. If you are worried about some kind of pillar here, even for what like you did right here, I think either are acceptable. You can do this chain here and continue it out, or even shift these 2 dark blues to the left, wait for some garbage to fall, and you can make the clears, and that'll already make that pillar so much smaller. But both options are good. Just something to think of in the future, especially if, let's say you had a tall right pillar here too. You might want to focus, waste some time to get this left one down, and then 1 pillar becomes way more manageable than 2 pillars.
Yeah, even with that chain I'm doing, it could put me in a tough spot if there's some combo garbage at the top.
But I think what you did there, perfectly fine. Good way to approach it.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Swordsman Kirby? I don't know why I called you Swordsman Kirby. I feel like this is the first time I've ever done that instead of asking. It's because I don't ever stream anymore, man. Kitti trying to buffer some clears too. I think Kitti just a little bit of a vision issue here at the top because it's like you're finding those clear bufferings, which is good that a lot of players are doing this. But you don't want to just kind of find the first clear that is on your screen because what became like a pretty flat stack here at the top turned into 4 rows, turned into 4 columns, which turned into 3 columns with no immediate clear at the top. When try not to rush it, maybe like you have those dark blues and you have light blues that are touching at this point. But I mean, it was kind of a little time there too. Another big strat is always have another clear that's ready at the bottom here. Like for example, on Kitty's side, this green is always down here. So just kind of have this in the back of your mind, and you can neglect it for a little bit while you are doing chains and combos and whatever here at the top. But if you ever do get into a little bit of trouble, you always have like a clear that you can reference later. And for a clear like this, I always like to move it off to the side too, because just clears on the side are gonna help you out with most of the time you're down stacking, with some exceptions.
Will you dash to the bottom or to the side where your clear's at when you have to get to it?
That's the perfect response there, SK. Also, don't be sad, Christine. Witness these great players. Which I gotta say, if you are in this community, a gold player is still one of the best players in the community by far. Which is, like, pretty crazy. But, like, players have gotten so good, and there's, like, not too many active players that it's kind of unfortunate that a lot of these players do get overshadowed a lot of the times. Which is cool that we've been doing a lot more skill-based tournaments within certain thresholds this year, which is helps a lot of these players shine. All right, Fudu.
Yeah,
Nice solve there. But sorry, go ahead with whatever you were saying.
yeah. I had fun first participating in the novice tournaments. Oh yeah, sweet catch, right?
You had
Was that
a
a catch?
slide, and then you had a grounded catch here at the bottom. You got the
Yeah.
double. You must be feeling really confident to go for those all the time. I will say it is like more casual matches here, so people will like to do more of those. But do you do those a lot in tournament play as well?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of times it'd lose me the match, but I guess I don't know when to give up whatever I'm doing. Um, when like going for a clear at the top is a better option. This is just a side effect of getting tunnel vision.
All right, here I think this would be fun. Okay, you're in Kitty's spot here, Fudu, and we'll go forward because there is one obvious play here to go for. But then I'm pretty sure you'll know the answer here. Let's keep it going forward. Keep it going forward. Well, let's just play it. There we go. Go back a little bit. So you make these blue clears. What's your next play here?
From here,
On
I
Kitty's
would,
board.
yeah, on Kitty's part, I would get the purple on top of the purples on the left.
Yes. Good call there. And maybe because Kitty was kind of panicking here a little bit, but don't be
You can
focused
still
in.
move it.
Yeah. This can still be cleared immediately here with this purple, just 2 spots to the left. These are clearing, so you have this space to do it here. Don't panic to do a bunch of clears back and forth, because it's a good habit to be buffering a lot of clears and trying to make yourself survive a little bit more. But sometimes just doing it too much can be your own worst enemy. And I can't stress how hard it is to like try to focus on multiple colors at once, but it's really something you just have to build here. And as soon as he took his eyes off and went for the reds here, it just became really, really messy to try to find something to work with.
Indeed.
I'm glad you're liking this so far, SK. I hope a lot of you guys are enjoying this right now, because this is something I've wanted to do for a while. And it's really cool doing it with Fudu in the call here, too. Man, this is just looking like an unfortunate set here for Kitty right now. I think maybe just like overwhelmed with a lot of the options, but that's kind of what I'm really liking with your play at this level right now, Fudu, is I don't know if you're doing it intentionally or not, but you're kind of noticing how Kitty's playstyle's been for a majority of this set and taking advantage of it to where, regardless or besides this attack right here, you've been going for these quick chains and like some combo follow-ups, and they've really been catching Kitty off guard. Which I will say, player matchups is 100% a thing in panel attack. I've seen many times a trio of 3 players where player 1 loses to player 2 loses to player 3, and player 3 loses to player 1. And it's all really based on how, like, one style of player is. To where if they're a combo heavy player and they can catch someone off guard who doesn't react the best, or you have a factory built player who can just wear out their opponent because, you know, you get more time to react a little bit, but you might opt for more burns and you're just going to run yourself out of panels. And then you have someone who maybe does well with combo storm. They'll play with a super high stack and get a lot of defensive play. And I mean, I guess the important thing to note with all sorts of things like that is adapting to multiple play styles can be something that really benefits you depending on who you end up playing in the future.
Yeah, all of that can vary from week to week too. Last week Kitty was getting the best of me, but here I have been getting the better of Kitty.
Yeah, some momentum things are just like not playing good on some days too. Can really get you. All right, it looks like you're taking advantage of this again. Nice combo assault there, just a little bit short on it, but that's the way to do it. If you notice your opponent is struggling to get these openings and playing with like pillars, like fully take advantage of that. Even if they're clearing it out and you might be short sometimes, go for those combo assaults, because it looks like Kitty's been panicking just a little bit more here. This was a really hard Shogun to see here at the bottom too, but you can this one's really tough. As someone who doesn't go for Shoguns a lot here, you don't have to practice them too much. But you notice you got the 2 yellows, the 2 reds here in the second tier, and all you need is this third column to fall once. You drop down at the very bottom here this yellow, and then move the second yellow to the right, move the blue to the right, and then you got that 6 combo to fall in place there at the top, and that's going to lead to these dark blues eventually going to be opening and making for a vertical clear too. And if you get lucky enough, it could be a 9 combo if these blues fall into place, or like a lag chain, one or the other.
Yeah, that's kind of looking like a compota opener.
Do I VOD review in slow-mo? I could. I mean, we are on YouTube here, and I could move it there. I'm doing some frame by frame a lot, but I'm trying not to take up too much time because I don't think we need to do too in-depth review for things.
Sheesh.
But yeah, I mostly when I'm pointing out things like that, they're kind of like interesting strats that aren't too necessary. But I'm kind of getting a grasp on the little things that I'm seeing from both players' sides right now. That when trying to improve in this game, you don't need to tackle too much. There should be like one specific thing that you're probably grinding for a little bit. And then when you're seeing results, maybe try to tack on something else. Because there's no need to like, maybe some players get in, they feel overwhelmed like with a lot of the new strategies that have happened over the past couple years. That they're like, all right, I
Yeah.
need to learn to combo storm. I need to learn to factory. I need to learn to do stealth swaps. I need to learn how to do shoguns.
Yeah. Yep. But just pointing those things out is really good for me. I think stuff like that is the difference between me continuing to see this improvement or just plateauing out and not getting better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For any newcomer who might happen to stumble upon this later, just one thing I always point out to someone learning the game is just make chains and combos, no specific thing, get pressure on your opponent. Once you feel comfortable doing that, you can start to slowly implement more and more strategic things into your gameplay. But yeah, 14-5, I haven't been paying attention too much to like who's been winning the recent ones, but I feel like you won like 6 or 7 in a row now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right. This one looked like a tough situation. Let's kind of see what eventually led into this. And this looks like a good point here, because you have a pretty even stack right now. You got the greens falling in place. Do you go for a 5 combo here? Oh, that might have what hurt you there. I don't know if that was just like I'm trying to downstack really quickly here. I think that's probably what it was. You're like, all right, I need to flatten my stack.
Yeah,
But
that's what it was here. Just the
always,
flat.
this is what can cause a lot of issues too, is just especially a clear kind of happening that late because your garbage is already in the process of clearing a lot, and you have these yellows you can downstack and probably make a chain off the garbage here, but it becomes really, really tight. A few things to notice that this one could be really tough too if you're continuing to downstack here. Let's say you get the yellows and the greens. This is not quite the second tier looking, but if you notice a pattern where you have purple, purple, purple all the way at the top, try to maybe get something to clear out or to level those out so you can do it. So in this case, you could downstack your yellow, downstack your green, and move your green all the way to the left. Leave the yellow in this third column here. And then the purples are all going to line up on top to make a horizontal. That's a tough one, I feel like, to really see without practice too. But it's a good option when maybe you don't see something immediately here. Or if you do see these yellows line up, it's going to create that middle gap again, which is also something that can be really tough to work with. But
Yeah.
let's see, we have the
Yeah.
so you cleared the yellows immediately here. This is a tough one too. You have a Shogun set up with these purples too if you drop this left dark blue in. That's a very hard one to react to here at the end, but I think just all those like kind of panic clears there at the end puts you in a really rough spot. And even more unfortunate, because I bet you didn't really even see that falling into place there at the end too. You're just trying to get that clear down.
Yeah.
And when you get incidental clears like this, man, it's horrible because you're just like, well, this ruined my whole vision here, and I'm not really sure what to do. You could look at these
Yeah.
yellows. The one thing I could do to try to save this would be look at the yellows and move them specifically to the right instead of this one clear to the left. Sacrifice a little bit of that time because that opens up this right column a little bit, and then maybe you can move the dark blue over. Which, that's what it looks like you did, but you left those open there for the clear, which is a good idea. Just not enough time for that downstacking.
Yeah, it's tough when all of a sudden your board is drastically different, and you're gonna lose.
Mm-hmm. Also, I don't know if I said hi, but what's up, Ty? Good to see you in here, man. Ty is someone who, if you guys want to look at someone's gameplay, look at Ty during tournament. Some of his sets, this man, he just always has a bailout option. And he does really good even when he's low on panels to, like, try to react and find something really quick. Like, props to you, Ty, for, like, you're one of the most impressive people to watch at, like, the diamond level in tournament.
Yeah,
All right, so
Ty's
what's...
performance in the major was impressive.
Yeah, win on Yoshi, dude. No easy feat. Not a lot of people can say they've done that.
Wow.
So yeah, I think this is just something I've been noticing on both players' sides is most of the time it can be incidental, but when you're found in these like half panel boards, look at all these panels that are getting cleared by Kitti and not touching the garbage at the top. You're gonna have those 3 yellows that downstack would cause those blues to clear, and then eventually those greens all get cleared in a row here too. And all of a sudden, you have these reds and dark blues immediately, which are going to be your clears left, which aren't going to be touching the garbage either. And you have some downstacking coming. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of combo garbage that falls here too. So it's good to see the habit of buffering a lot of clears, but it can also just be your worst enemy at the same time. Because here comes Kitti, has to use those dark blues a little bit quick here. And look at this. This is actually nothing besides getting those greens down, getting a horizontal, and then delaying your death just a little bit further because there are no more matches.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Did my stream go down for a second?
What?
I noticed the bit rate
Oh, dude.
is red.
Even in Discord, it just says you're sharing your screen. It doesn't say that you're streaming.
Oh, gotcha. Weird. We're good now, though? Maybe just a little internet hiccup. Apologies for that, guys. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully that doesn't hiccup again. Eventually, it could be my internet. It could be OBS as well. Classic OBS. But let's continue. Fudu 15-6 right now. First to 20, I should mention again for this set. So, pretty modest set. This is very common numbers that happen on panel attack as well. Man, I just hate to see it, but that's what that pillar, you gotta eliminate that from the gameplay. It's just,
I see.
It's so tough. Because, like, especially when you drop a chain, you're already leaving for it to be an awkward downstack, and if your opponent just blitzes you at the very beginning here too, it's almost impossible to downstack that. And look, you just did the either a 2 chain or a 7 combo plus a 6 combo there at the top. Barely any shake time. I think that's a 2 chain because the 2 chain will fall in front of the 6 combo, and if it was a 7 combo, it would go behind the 6 combo. Garbage queuing's weird.
Yep. and yeah, and it changes from game to game.
It does. So honestly, I mean, the big thing to point out here, it looks like whether unintentional or not, you've been taking advantage of Kitti's bad habits in this set, and I've been very impressed with that.
Yeah, this is pretty much just my default gameplay. Whatever. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to think.
There's another one. I mean, not much to say there. It's just separated pillars once again. It's hard because, like, for a while I didn't do this too. Just trying to, you know, give yourself a bunch of panels always to work with. Especially if you are down in the match and you were having a hard time to find garbage to send at the beginning. Just having a lot of panels for so many options can work. Did you go for a 9 here? Is that what I see at the bottom?
It's supposed to be an 8.
You were looking for it. So, I mean, unfortunate miss swap there. That would have converted if you did hit it. But I guess maybe a little bit of greed that happened to it. I'm just going to chalk it up to unfortunate input error, though. Like, I think it's totally fine trying to go for an 8 or a 9 combo there. But there's two play styles I'll find myself into a match here, and maybe this can translate to you a little bit too, Fudu, is if you are the aggressor in the match and you have a good job topping off your opponent and you're confident with your sins to keep doing it, your like stack size that you have right now, I feel like is totally fun to play with, and you can like continue to do factories pretty efficiently here to keep your opponent topped off. Because sometimes they get into this flow where they're just trying to survive the whole time, so the only garbage they send back to you is like 2 to 3 lines, maybe 4 sometimes. And playing with this lower stack's actually good because you're never topped off, and it's less stress on you to just kind of keep doing simple things over and over, and eventually your opponent dies. I think that's a really good time for low stack situations to occur.
Okay.
So let's see. All right, you're a little bit short on the sin now. So taking your time a little bit here. Unfortunate with the down stack there. See, saw you going for another grounded swap there. What happened
If I
on
had
Kitty's
it,
side?
yeah.
I think, yeah, hopefully I'll try to mention this to Kitty, because I'm definitely not trying to like talk smack to any of these competitors, and I know Kitty's someone who's been on the grind here a little bit too. I think Kitty probably just needs to open up his vision just a little bit more on swaps, because from this moment here, he is already just focused on the light blues only when those purples are just 3 swaps away. It's just,
Yeah.
you got to build yourself to find more vision on the board and find those easier clears, because there's usually something that seems easier on the horizon, but goes for a down stack, then goes all the way to the right to hit these blues. And then even if you manage to get to those light blues in time, what's the move after that? Because you didn't refresh. You could do a weird like drop with this red and do insert grounded catch to get these greens to chain, but it seems it's way too complicated.
Yeah, it's a tough spot if you don't go for the purples.
Oh, you know what? Also, welcome Dylon to the chat. You bring up a good point to where maybe we'll see it at the beginning of this next match. I hope that wasn't loud. I just knocked over my keyboard a little bit pretty much. But let's just say, like, at the beginning of this match when you're raising a stack, it is really easy for, you know, incidental clears to come up from the bottom of the board and ruin completely what you're working on. Anytime you're raising the stack manually, just make sure there's no 2 vertical panels at the bottom that are touching at the same color. That can be a really good habit to build up to, because it eliminates a lot of those really pesky clears that happen all the time. So like if you're trying to, let's say you had a 4 combo or something build up at the bottom, but the way it was built up was 2 yellows, let's say in column 3, a yellow in column 4, and the other yellow in column 3. Maybe just right before you raise your stack, switch that bottom one over to column 4, just for the time being. Nice chain here at the bottom. All right, Kitty has me worried a little bit. This has been a situation. Down stacks to the reds, though. Okay. I mean, I assume with how lopsided this is going right now, we might see our last round of this match going, but there's definitely a pace disadvantage that seems to be happening here at the beginning. And I think Fudu, you've been exerting just a majority of the pressure here at the beginning, and that's really what's caused this. It was like 5-5, I think, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden,
Start, yeah.
what, 14-2 run afterward?
Yeah.
That's this game in a nutshell, man.
Yep. Yeah, Kitty and I have played a lot of sets in the last few months. We're always on at about the same time, so it's been nice and neat. Wasn't sure exactly what happened in this set to where I got the advantage of him so much, but now I've got a better idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combo of both, to where Kitti was playing with a lot of dangerous pillars this whole time, but you also taking advantage of it with these quick kills.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just another 4-chain coming on. You're not pressured here. Nice insert, grounded swap. You're feeling good, man. I mean, when you have the confidence to hit all these tricks over and over, that's all you need to know why this set was so lopsided. You're just feeling so good.
I've got a good audio cue for that, I guess. I just listened to the pops.
And yeah,
Ah,
1 minute 21 match here at the beginning. I think there was another round there, and I noticed it after the recording, but that was it for these matches. So I mean,
okay, yeah.
20-7, GG's, kind of a slaughter there at the end, but I mean, good stuff from both of them. Both of you have been players that have like increased quite a lot over the year. I mean, it's shown. Just both of you like almost permanently moving up to intermediate, and Kitty's probably on the cusp here pretty soon.
Yeah, pretty soon. I remember when Kitty joined, they were really good on level 5, but as soon as they switched to level 8, they they just couldn't live like so many people do. But now they're even playing on level 10. So, yep, it's been good. It's been good getting better, and it's been good playing with Kitty. Everyone else.
So my overall takes from here: it's hard to make a definitive statement because another opponent here could be a completely different flow. So I
Yeah.
didn't really get to see your defense all on showcase for this set, which is fine. You're not going to be able to see a person's full gameplay in one set. But some good things first. Let's always start with the good things here. I think you did a really good job adapting to your opponent's gameplay. As I've said many times before, you took advantage with these quick strikes. And quick strikes in general, if you're comfortable with finding them, even when they're like 2 to 3 chains, because 3 chains give a little bit more shake than combos, but they're still not that much, especially for gold and platinum players. If you're sending a lot of these strikes and keeping your opponent topped off with minimal shake, very good strategy for gold and plat level. And your clears for survival have been really good. When you found yourself in an awkward spot, you've taken the time to find the clears to buy yourself a little bit more time and give you some more vision down the field. And some things I would work on, because like I said, I don't want to overwhelm a player. Stick with a couple of things at first. I'd say one, experiment with maybe raising your stack a little bit more at the beginning too. It didn't cause you harm in this set, but maybe having some more options to work with and just feeling more comfortable with that higher stack can make the difference. I don't think that's too big of an issue. Second tier though, have a bigger eye on second tier going forward, and a little bit of that thing which can be a little bit hard to implement, but if you see those like 2 separated lines on top of a chain garbage, maybe slow it down and not immediately clear the garbage yet, but having like, this is a perfect screenshot right now, having 3 lines up here instead of 2 lines, a lot more bailout options here, which I don't know if you could have controlled this. Let's actually go back. Oh, okay, here's a perfect example of what I would have done in this situation. Another line drops, you have the yellows there, I downstack like you did, I raise probably 2 lines here, maybe. Play it a little bit more safe, not raise it all the way to the top. Don't even clear the yellows. Maybe look to the right side of your board afterward and try to find like a 5 or a 6 combo, because Kitty just did another quick single line attack to you, or it got extended here. But by the time you're looking for another clear that would have theoretically happened at the bottom right, you can delay this clear, and all of a sudden, not only do these 2 lines clear, but this bottom line clears immediately too, and who knows, you probably have a vertical 3 here.
Wow. Yeah.
Utilizing a lot of second tier things to your advantage could be really, really good, just to bail yourself out of options. Because look, if you're topped off at this point, if Kitti sent more, what are we doing in this situation? There are options, but you gotta get some pretty good movement here. But yeah, experiment around with some second tier stuff. See what feels comfortable. At the end of the day, there's no specific way to approach it. There are many different ways to do it. But if you find some kind of like pattern that sticks out to you and it feels good, like utilize that to your fullest. Like something me and you have been doing a lot with those grounded catches. Like you've been really consistent with them, and if you feel confident with them, more than welcome to keep doing them in tournament.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
James,
I see Jambox in the chat.
as long
What's
as I have Fudu's permission, I think I'll just upload this on YouTube because I think this has been a pretty cool session.
Yeah, that's fine with me. And Kitti has given the okay to be featured in this as well. So
Cool. Well, I mean, like I said, I really liked everything I saw from you in general in this. Very well done. Good job on this sick win. If you have any specific questions or you want to rewind and look at anything that is in here, by all means, anything on your mind, I'm down.
nothing right now. Yeah, I guess the main takeaway I wanted to get was, I guess when I lost or whatever, or when I got put in a bad spot, was what was I doing or what was I focusing on, and then what should I have done or what should I have been doing instead. So yeah, I've got a lot much better ideas as to what I can implement, get better.
Yeah,
So thanks.
a little bit for you, and then this one will be pointed at Kitti as well too. Get those pillars down. They they kill a lot of games.
Yeah.
They kill your games. They kill diamond games. They kill my games too. Pillars are deadly.
Huh.
And like
Cool.
either like starting stuff on the sides or purposefully, if you know you have the time to do it, if you have like a vertical clear that's in the second or third column, take that little bit extra time, shift it all the way over to the left there, and it's just gonna make your life a little bit easier. Because I find it more easy if you have like space on the outside of your board rather than the inside, because inside gaps always make things awkward.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed here.
But yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else. I'll ask you, I guess, one last time. Anything else sticking on your mind? Otherwise, we'll close out this session.
No, Forky, thanks so much for the time, for the insight into these matches. If you want, we could do it again with a different set. This set featured some offense. Maybe the next set could feature some more of my defense, and we could focus on, or
honestly,
see opportunities of improvement there.
I would love to see the follow-up, and I would like to see you against a caliber player, someone like Indaris or Sanker or somewhere, or Dylon in chat too.
Yep.
Anywhere
Cool.
from that plat range. I'd love to see how you stack up against the plat. I think that would we got to see someone at your skill level who you were dominating that day. I'd love to see how you stack up against someone who's a little bit above you right now, who's probably going to pressure you and survive a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm up for that challenge now. So cool. We'll see that next time then.
All right, cool, man. Well, I'll let you go. Thanks for giving me the time. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, hope you have a good evening, man.
Yeah, thanks, Forky. See ya.
See ya. Yo, that was fun. What a great turnout. I'm glad Fudu came on the call too. I really like that engagement back and forth. Though I do like to do analysis by myself too, because if you guys can't tell, I am a blabbermouth and can talk for days about this game sometimes. Given all the like commentary I've done in the past and just the sheer amount of time I put in this game. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.